Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me here today, and happy December to everybody. Can you believe that it is December already? It's just crazy to me. So today I am going to be going through my budget worksheet and how I work out what I put into each category in my cash envelopes. So as you can see here, I am screen sharing my Excel spreadsheet. So I do all of my budgeting through Excel. It's just what works best for me because I find it functional, it does the maths for me, and it's all in one place. I know that some people love planners and stickers and writing everything down. It's just not for me. If that's what works for you, go for it. This is what works for me. So this is just what I use, even though it doesn't look pretty, it doesn't look fancy, but it works. And that's the most important thing about budgeting. So I'm just going to jump straight in and talk you through how I do everything. So as you will see here, I have my worksheet, December 2020. So normally what I do is I copy over last month's budget sheet. So just to save time, I've gone through and done a bit of this already. But what I will normally do is I will copy over last month. So it would be November in this case, change the name of the worksheet to the current month, clear all of my cash envelope categories which are down here. And then I will work out, first of all, what my monthly bills are going to be. So this here is where I keep all of my bills. So the first category here is Frontline. So Frontline is my heating bill, and that only comes in every 2 months. So I paid it in November, which I can see over here. So these dates automatically transfer across because I copied the spreadsheet. So that's really handy, and it reminds me when they will next be paid. So this month I know that I will have nothing. So in my plan section, I have 0 and my actual will be 0. And then I know that the next time that I have to pay it will be January. Moving down here, I have Office. My planned amount for that is 7. And in November, I paid that on the 9th. Next up, HR is horse riding. It's another one of my hobbies. It's €40 for each session, and I allow myself to go twice a month. So for that, I have planned €80. I haven't actually booked it in yet, so there's no actual amount yet, and I don't have a date for that. Next up is nails, and nails is actually down as 0 because last month in November I did budget for a nail appointment, but I didn't spend it because the beauty salons were all closed because Ireland, where I live, was back in national lockdown. So the planned amount is 0. The actual will be 35 if I book in, but that will come out of my cash from last month that I didn't spend. I haven't booked in an appointment yet, so I don't have a date to put here. Next up is wax, and that was exactly the same. I had budgeted for it in November. We weren't allowed to go to beauty salons, so I didn't spend that money. I just rolled it over. So that is why the planned is 0, and the actual amount was €42, and I got that done on the 2nd of December. And as soon as I've paid a bill, I highlight it in yellow so I know that it is paid. Then I have Virgin Media, that will be €93. Bord Gáis Energy is my electricity, that I have planned €38. Vodafone is my phone bill, and I've planned 60. Netflix is 12 and Now TV is 6. And the reason that I have planned an actual is that, for example, if I take Virgin Media, there's been a change to our VAT rate, I think. So I think it works out at about 92.54 or something like that at the moment, but I just round up and then I write the actual amount once the bill comes in over here and update the date. So the first thing then when I have put all of those in is I have it auto summed here to 296. And then I'm going to move, as you will see, I have a couple of areas blanked out. So my salary, the number is in there to the left. I just have it blocked out because I'm not comfortable sharing that. The same with my rent. Then for bills, I've rounded it up to €300. That auto summed as well. And then I put in my savings, and that is also auto summed. So I'm left with €1,250. On the left-hand side, you can see that all of these amounts, so my rent, my bills and my savings, I actually move online into separate bank accounts. And then I mark over here when I have done that. So I know that they are all done, they are taken out, and what's left in my bank account is mine to spend as I want. So the amount that I have left over to put into my cash envelope, the amount that I have left over to put into my cash envelopes in December is €1,250. So I'm going to move you down here, which is my actual cash envelope section. And as you will see at the very bottom, I have this to remind me how much I have. And again, this is already set up as an auto sum. So all of the maths is done for me, which is great. Then on the left-hand side of each of my envelopes, I have if they are online or if I have them in a physical envelope, just for me to keep track. So when it comes to working out my budget, the first thing that I do is always put in my credit card and how much I will have to pay off. Even if I don't have any amount outstanding, I do like to put something on it, even if it's small. So in December, I'm going to put €10, so I will start with that. My car insurance is €125, so I pay that once a year. So I just work out the amount once a year and break it down by 12. And then I also include my motor tax, which again, I pay annually, divide that by 12, work out what I need to put in. So it's always €125. Personal, I will come back to, and holidays, I will come back to. So next up, I move down to groceries because a girl's got to eat. So when I'm working out what to put into this envelope, the way that I work it is I look from Sunday to Sunday in the calendar and see how many Sundays there are in that particular month before I get paid. So in December, it worked out that there are 5 Sundays. I am spending about €40 a month on groceries because I'm working from home and I'm eating a bit more at home instead of at the office. So very simply, I then multiply 40 by 5, which is €200. So normally for eating out, I would do exactly the same, except it would be €10. So that's a takeaway on a Saturday. However, I did have €10 left over from last month. So it should be €50, but because I have €10 already left, that is going to get €40 this month. So that's done. And you'll see down here at the bottom, it is automatically totaling, which is great. Okay, so then other categories that I would do, so Christmas is obviously coming up in a few weeks. I have the majority of my Christmas shopping done, but that would be the category that I would want to make sure I have stuffed. So I have worked out that I have about €150 worth left of presents to get. Not really presents, I need to get a couple of bottles of wine and chocolates, kind of extra little presents. I also have a hair appointment coming up in a few weeks, and I know that I have €70 outstanding for what I need for that amount, so that gets done then. Okay, then another question that I sometimes get asked in my videos is when I am able to flip in my notes and flip out my notes so easily without getting confused. And the reason for that is that sitting off to the side of my laptop, I have my envelopes here, and I look through them when I'm doing my budget to see how much I have left. So in my medical envelope, for example, I have €5 left, and that's because in November I had to go to the doctors and I had to get a prescription. So I've spent the majority of what's in my envelope, so I need to start building that up again. So because there's €5 in there, I hate having random 5s floating around. I prefer to round it up. I'm going to put €45 in medical, and that means that when I'm doing my cash envelope stuffing, I can whip out that 5 and put in a 50, and it's just really, really easy for me to do. Then other easy categories that I can get rid of: TV license, I have fully funded at the moment, so that gets a 0. Credit union, I'm not stuffing at the moment. Tips, I'm not stuffing at the moment. And makeup, I have some money left in my envelope, so I'm not doing anything there. So then the rest of them, I really just sort of put in figures. Oh, apart from petrol and gifts, sorry, I should have done these. So petrol, I will look in my diary and see what I have coming up. I'm not driving in and out to work at the moment. I'm not doing much driving at all. However, I am away for Christmas. We're going to a hotel, so I am going to need to drive for that. I have €20 left in my envelope from last month, but I will have to do a bit of normal driving and then a slightly longer trip around Christmas time. So I'm going to put €30 in here. And then when it comes to gifts, I have 2 birthdays coming up, I think, so I'm going to put €50 into this envelope. Then next up, I'll do car maintenance. I like to put €50 a month in here if I can. Clothing is going to get 20. Toiletries, I'm going to do 15, say. Apartment stuff, I'm just going to put in 20. Spa trip, I'll put in 20. Tennis, I'll put in 40. Miscellaneous expenses, I will put in 20. Holidays, I'm going to put in 50. And then personal, I'm going to put in 265. And let me see. Okay, perfect. So that's added up to 1,250. So actually that was perfect. But say, for example, let me just change one of these and I'll show you what I would do. So if I had €25 in toiletries, for example, so I can see down here that my amount is not what I actually have to spend. So I would have to go back and look at all of my categories and see what I could reduce. In this case, I'm going to reduce toiletries and bring it down to 50. So then another thing that I always have to do before I actually go to the bank and take out my money, I am lazy and I only ever go to the ATM. I do not actually go into the bank because I work Monday to Friday from like 8 until 7 some days, and I just don't always get out to actually physically get into the bank and take out the notes. So when you go to an ATM, you never know what denominations you're going to get. In Ireland, they definitely prefer to give you 50s. 10s are a rarity at ATMs for some reason. I don't know why, but they just seem to be. So then what I do is I total up how much I need to take out. Okay, and in this case, it's €800, which I can see down here. If, for example, that was adding up to 795, you cannot take €5 out of an ATM in Ireland. You have to go into the bank to get them out. So I have to take out denominations in multiples of either 10, 20, or 50. So in that case, I would have to go back and make sure that it totaled up to an even number like it does at the moment. So that would be €800, which is fine for me to take out for an ATM. So that is really it. So that's kind of how I work out my budget. So it's really just for me doing the categories that I need to do first and then playing around with the other categories. And thinking ahead, looking at your diary and thinking ahead, that's key, because then you can actually plan out what you need. So hopefully this was of interest. If you'd like me to do this every single month, I'm more than happy to do it. I don't know if it's that